Hi, this is Jeff with Canary. I wanted to walk through some of the Axiom version 19 diagnostic screens that we've designed, just to give you an idea of some of the ways that you can customize Axiom for your process. Start with our first design. Now I know it breaks the rules of high-powered HMI, it uses some color, but we thought it would be a great way just to show some of the flexibility of the design. And so what you're looking at here is some diagnostic tags from the actual historian that I'm operating from right now. And we've got three different panels that are calculating values of current memory use. Now, 5 minutes ago, my machine was not booted on, so I didn't have a value. And then a running 5-minute average. And each of these are made up of a panel. And then inside of that panel is a label as well as a value box. And this particular panel we have chosen to color. And if we wanted to, we could assign a source tag to it and then alarm the entire panel based on a high or low value of the tag that we assigned to it. So for instance, if I took my diagnostic tag, system, I believe I was using the memory page tag. Let's just verify that. Yep, memory page. So the memory page tag, and I could say if that goes below higher than 43, then we want to alert the panel, which we've just done by making it red. Or you could change it to be any shade that you wanted it to be. So, also on this page, you'll see that we have a grid of data, which consists of, in our grid, a label, a donut gauge, a spark line. Here you can see the interruption where I restarted my machine recently, as well as values for that spark line. And we've repeated that in 3 different rows. Here on the far right, a trend graph showing some system diagnostics. And then finally we have another panel with a label and a bunch of individual panels, individual line graphs, or linear gauges I should say, that is showing data from last week. And so if I look at last Friday, I've got a minimal amount of memory, or CPU, a average and a high value. And we're making these calls by taking the start time and sliding it back to the beginning of the week, minus 3 days to get to Friday. And over the course of the entire 24 hours, running a time average. And here, the minimal value in that same 24 hours and the peak value, the maximum value. All of these are just a list of aggregates that are available. So as you create these ranges on a value box or a gauge, you can say, I'd like to know what was the maximum value for that duration, or what was the total value for that duration. All right, so there is one of the diagnostic screen examples. Let's pull up another one. Now on this design, we have a grid control that has labels, value boxes, and spark charts, and a blank trend chart. And in this, we've done some scripting that on click, we are actually adding the item to the trend chart. So if I click on total CPU or on historian physical memory, we're adding these items to the trend chart. What's great is all of these items can then be worked on. So if I wanted to, for instance, take this scale and slide it down the page, I could do that. Or if I even wanted to come in and perhaps just run a zoom feature, and understand the difference between maybe the high value and the lower value. with the delta. All right, let's take a look at another diagnostic screen that we built. Now this one I like actually in the darker theme, so I'll just come to my preferences and switch over to the dark theme. And here we can see we have a panel for each of the key KPIs, and not only are we grabbing the live data, but we're running a 5-minute average of that data, as well as a 5-minute low and a 5-minute high. And I can see that I had a peak in the last 5 minutes on my CPU. So if I wanted to examine that a little closer, I can call that trend, and I'll look at it for the last 30 minutes. Here's the time where my machine was turned off and I had no data. Here's the startup of the machine. And I'm guessing that this might correlate with the time of my video and starting up the recording of my screen. Sometimes that can be a bit expensive to do. If I wanted to add maybe the memory overlay on that, I could certainly do that as well. I'll just take a look at my historian's memory usage. Again, I can see when all of the services started up, I peaked, and then it's flattened out. If I wanted to change that duration, I've scripted this list box to affect the duration of this chart. So for the last 8 hours, that's what it looks like. Okay, and finally, let's look at the last example. We'll go ahead and maximize the screen. And in this example, switch over to 5 minutes. We're looking at 4 different trend charts. All 4 times or durations have been linked over here for monitoring purposes, so I'm only changing once, and I'm changing the times on all 4 charts. So top chart looks like it's just total CPU of the machine. Bottom chart, historian CPU, memory use, and physical and virtual memory. I should note I'm on a laptop doing this demo, so based on not having a lot of resources available on that machine, I'm not surprised to see some of these peaks. All right, well, I hope that was a good quick look at 4 different ways that you can monitor your historian's diagnostics tags. If you'd like any of these applications for your own use, we can template those and send them over to you. Just send us an email at info@canarylabs.com or leave us a note in the comments below. This was version 19 of Axiom. Thank you for watching the video.